Greetings from Bulgaria. I'm Vulkk, bringing you things new players should do and not do in Shadow of War. Monolith's Shadow of War is a massive game, one that can require at least 40 or 50 hours of your life to complete, Act 4. Even longer if you aim for 100% achievements completion. If you have played the previous title from 3 years ago, Shadow of Mordor, you will find yourself in familiar universe. Most of the controls and the way the game and characters function is the same or very similar. It won't take you long to get used to it. However, if you're a new player and about to make your first steps into the game, be warned. There are quite a lot of things that you could do wrong. Nothing is fatal or wasted, of course. Follow this guide to make your first steps with Middle-earth Shadow of War easier, and be prepared to face the real challenges later on. Test your game if it runs on higher graphical settings than what is recommended for you. My hardware is quite powerful, you can find the link in the description, and yet Shadow of War auto-configured itself to run at the lowest preset. I obviously knew it's a bug or a mistake or a miscalculation, so I cranked it up to the maximum, and it turns out that the game is running very smoothly with absolutely no FPS issues or any kind of lag spikes. However, if you experience any troubles, check out the Middle-earth Shadow of War problems and fixes post, link in the description, for a solution to your problem. Start the game in normal or even easy difficulty if you are a beginner. It's recommended for beginners and players who haven't played Shadow of Mordor. You can switch the difficulty at any given time, but just be warned, the Nemesis difficulty mode is for the more experienced and trained players. It requires your full attention to the smallest details like your skill tree build, the environment, weak and strong sides of your opponents, and more. Don't rush to reach the end game, which is Act 4. Start slow, enjoy your game, as it leads you from a very heavy cinematic storytelling Act 1 into a more complex Act 2 to the epic conclusion of the story in Act 3, and the grindfest, which is Act 4. Be mindful, there is a special bonus cinematic revealing Talion's true fate at the end of Act 4. Of course, there will be a link in the video description if you don't want to go through all the grind and just watch the true fate of the Ranger from Mordor. I strongly suggest you to focus on the story first. The story missions in Shadow of War are far from the most interesting part, but they're entertaining and even challenging. The boss fights are also fun. The game adapts to your personal level and will most of the time match your current level to the level of the content that you are playing, when it comes to story missions at least. Each main mission can be repeated multiple times, but you will only get the rewards for it only once. Story isn't the strongest feature of the game, but I personally enjoyed it a lot. At times I found myself just rushing to the next mission starting point so I can see what happens to this or that character. Spoiler alert, you do not want to miss the Balrog moments. Don't bother gathering any special and unique sets early on. Shadow of War has several different tiers and types of gear. The most interesting and worth talking about are of course the legendary sets. They drop from orc captains as rewards for completing quests or by hunting achievements. These items can level up with you, meaning when you loot it at level 15 you will be able to upgrade it several times to level 60, which is the cap. However, most of these are not so special or needed at low levels. During the progression of the game in Act 1 and 2, Talion is still not fully developed and also not facing any unbeatable challenges at this time. There is no need for you to aim to get the full set of this or that item. Well, if you love the appearance and are determined to get it, nobody can stop you. I'm just warning you that for the most players, it will turn out to be a needless grind. When you get to Act 4 and beyond, because the game doesn't actually end with the ending after Act 4, you will have the opportunity to find and complete all of your favorite legendary gear sets without the need to level them up, because you will already be high enough level. Save your Miriam. It's extremely valuable in Act 4, and this is where you will actually really need it. Miriam is used to purchase upgrades and unlocks, as well as for managing your fortress assaults and siege defenses. You will be doing a lot of the last two in the endgame. Do yourself a favor and don't spend anything unless you think you really need to. Don't buy any items from the in-game marketplace for real money. In fact, don't buy anything in the early game at all. Talion levels up pretty fast in Act 1 and Act 2, and any gear you loot will soon become obsolete. Any orcs you recruit or purchase will soon become weak and useless, unless you spend time leveling them up via the Nemesis missions, of course. Explore all of the higher towers and find out all possible hidden achievements and places of interest. It will make your life easier when you know where you can find certain items or missions. Take at least a brief look at the strengths and weaknesses of the captains, war chiefs and overlords before you fight them. It is important to know if you can leap over them, poke them with arrows, bend their will at the end of the duel and recruit them, and so on. Each of their strengths is always displayed when you inspect them. To learn their weaknesses, however, you would need to use intelligence or interrogate the worm Uruk from the open world. Those are the Uruks with the green icon above their heads. Don't do all the side quests early on. Most of the rewards you will get will become unusable very soon. The Nemesis missions are generated on a random basis, procedurally generated I mean, and even if you let a captured follower of yours die, don't cry a river for him. There are plenty of Aurochs in Mordor and many of them will be more than happy to fill in the blank spots in your army. Don't worry about picking a wrong skill upgrade. During the game you will earn more skill points than you can actually use and need, probably potentially possible to unlock 100% all skills and their upgrades in the skill tree. The skill tree is designed to allow you to switch between builds quickly, but not quick enough unfortunately. Sometimes you will face a captain who is immune to your favorite attack or combo and force you to switch. Sadly, this happened not with a single click of a button, as it should, but with you going through the pause menu, the character screen, and manually switching one or more of the skill upgrades, which sometimes are actually hard to remember, especially in the first hours after you start playing the game. You might get a bit confused. Which upgrade goes where? Which upgrade did I want to switch? Where is it located? And so on. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. And in the style of this guide at the very end, let me finish with do subscribe to my channel for more Shadow of War content and don't forget to turn on the bell icon. Thank you guys for enjoying this video with me. I hope you will find useful tips here and in the other videos as well. Let me know in the comment section what are your favorite do's and don'ts. Of course there are plenty more than these that I've listed here. See you in the next video. Bye bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video.